What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Saiffers BPat podcast. Roland-Garros is starting to get a little bit better for us. We're starting to hit our picks. We're catching our stride. My name is BPat. Save is on the other end with me, and we're going to be looking at the second half of the round four for both the women and the men. We've got some great matchups and what Saif calls bum-ass matchups. So we'll just jump right in. We'll start off with the WTA. Tell me how you doing. Tell me how you feeling. And we'll jump right in. How you doing, Saif?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Yeah, I'm finally feeling a little better moving forward. Today wasn't like amazing or anything like that, but I just feel like in my eyes at least, the picture is coming together a little bit, which makes me feel better, moving forward. Definitely more confident for tomorrow's games and then the quarterfinals for the rest of this week, or I guess starting Tuesday. Yeah. Um, but yeah. You want to just get straight into it?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. So for the WTA, the last four round of 16 matchups, we got two. Like you said that I said, we got two bum ass matchups and two really good games in my opinion. Um, so on the board, the first two are the worst ones, which is bum ass Sloane Stevens versus Barbora Krejcikova. Excuse me. All right. So very generally speaking, when I know it's like two bums playing each other, I
Wait,
always
wait,
like
wait,
to
wait, wait,
go.
wait. Let me stop you there. It's not two
What?
bums. Krejcikova
I
is
didn't
no
fit,
bum.
bro.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Bro, please,
Proceed.
don't interrupt me, man.
I'm sorry, sir.
SMH.
I'm sorry,
Anyways,
Lord Cappington. Sorry.
all right, yeah, whatever. You can call me whatever. Just let me talk.
Okay.
Um. So yeah, like I was saying, when generally speaking, when two bums play each other, I usually like to take the dog because I mean, for fuck's sake, if it's two bad players, then you might as well the plus games or plus money line or that. But I just absolutely cannot back Sloane Stevens no matter what. Um, Krejcikova is rightfully favored in my eyes. I can't make myself back her because of how relatively speaking she's a bum and she's also playing another bum that's been firing away and looking pretty good thus far um, in Roland-Garros. Having said all that, I lean the over just because I think that these two are in really fine form and none of them are neither one of them is a good player. So I think they can take this to three or two pretty close sets. I mean, in all honesty, they have both been playing really well. Both you know won very impressively against seeded players where they were underdogs. Like uh, I'm thinking Alexandrova, not really an upset for Krejcikova, but a seeded player as Vitalina. I I mean, definitely an upset, but not really a huge surprise. But also another seeded player, and Stevens did the dirty against back-to-back Carolinas, Pliskova, and then Mukova, which is definitely impressive. If I'm being honest. So yeah, I lean the over for sure.
That's fair. I think the over is a good pick. First off, I apologize for interrupting you. I gotta back Krejcikova. I just don't think she's a bum. Stevens has been prior to this tournament, but she's looking good, like you said. I mean, credits due where it's due. She knocked out both Pliskova and Mukova in straights. And then looking at Krejcikova, she won in Strasbourg. Not the most impressive draw there, but I mean, winning a final is winning a final. And then to come out, she beat the lesser Pliskova's sister. Kind of struggled to get out to a good start, but then after that, 6-2, 6-3 against Alexandrova, 6-3, 6-2 against Svitolina. And I think Krejcikova is just the better player here. I know they're both kind of like coming off of two great matchups apiece, but I think Krejcikova, I think her like just overall game will kind of put her ahead here because Stevens is bound to choke at some point. Not choke, but kind of regress. Similar to the way you see some players like Zachary and stuff like that. So I think I would like to take Krejcikova -3, maybe for just like a unit, something light. And then I also have her in a parlay, just money line, which is the last leg to cover plus 157. So yeah, I like Krejcikova here to win, for sure. And then I think she'll cover the -3. And I think even if it goes over, I'd love for it to go over and then Krejcikova still cover. Um, but we'll see how it goes. I think that Sloane Stevens, if she doesn't get out to a good start in the first set, I think she's a lost cause. And Krejcikova just runs away with it. But we're gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, Krejcikova -3.
Yeah, you make some good points. I definitely feel like I myself will be relying on, uh, oh, how do I say this? I feel like for my over, I'll definitely be, um, cheering for Sloane Stevens to not bum out and sort of, do
Yeah,
do just enough for this to go over. So, um, yeah. Only reason why I wouldn't personally back Krejcikova, even though I do also think she'll win, and like I said, she's rightfully favored. Um, it's just because of big game experience. After all, Sloane might be the biggest bum in the WTA tour, but she has a ton of experience. In the big games, she actually won a Grand Slam. I don't know how. U.S. Open 2017 or 18, I think. Whereas Krejcikova, this is all fairly new territory for her, especially at a Grand Slam, especially playing singles. Even though she did make a 1,000 level final this year, so but yeah, no, she is definitely making major moves this year. Krejcikova is so yeah. Let's see what happens.
yeah.
Krejcikova in three, maybe.
I think it'll be a good matchup, even though you think they're kind of both like lesser compared to some of the other players we saw in the draw. Um, I think Krejcikova is like she's not the best of the best, but she's like moving her way up. And then Stevens, yeah, she's kind of shaky, but I think regardless, it'll be a great matchup. Yeah, yeah.
No, I agree with the way they've both been playing. This will definitely be a good game to watch. Uh, and yeah, I mean, at this stage of the tournament, every high quality, entertaining to watch for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next matchup.
Another bum matchup. Yep. All right. So uns Jabeur versus Coco Golf. Now it's no secret that I'm not a fan of either of these chicks. I don't actually think I've faded Golf this week though. Thus far, I um let me see who has she played. Do you
She
remember
played
who she's played?
Jen Brady, Wang, and then Krunik. I think you bet on Krunik just very lightly for like money line or something like that. Maybe not.
Oh no, I took her. I had her +6, and I was really happy about that because that's a great bet.
Oh yeah, and it
That
covered too.
that yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, Shang Wang, Jen Brady, I stayed away from that. But yeah, against Uns now, Ons Jabeur is honestly like on her best day, she honestly possesses a quality to be like a top 15, top 20 player. And obviously same applies for Coco Golf. Um, in terms of their matchup, we did see them play in Charleston earlier this year. Neither of these chicks were in good form, in all honesty. But Jabeur won 6-3, 6-3. Um, last year they met on clay in Rome, 6-4, 6-3 golf. Um, in all honesty, this is a tough one. I think it's a lot closer than the line shows, even though Jabeur's money line has slowly been decreasing. Um, I think Jabeur wins. To be technical a little bit, golf is really uncomfortable at the net, and Jabeur has a disgusting amount of variety and relies super heavily on her drop shot, both from the backhand and forehand side. And golf is really has very low confidence being at the net, and she doesn't execute very well. Jabeur vice versa. Um, Golf does have the advantage for the serve, but in the rally, I think Jabeur matches up well from the baseline in terms of ground strokes, forehand, backhand. So I'm a rock with the Tunisian ogre and
Okay.
uns
Jeez.
yeah uns Jabeur doing 2 units +3, 1 unit money line. Um, I don't know Coco Clay Coco. That's a thing now trending on Twitter. Clay Coco. Clay Coco has been on fire. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't think she's invincible. And I don't like generally speaking, I wouldn't think Uns would be the one to do it. But she has looked pretty good. Um, and definitely has the tools to pull off this mini upset.
Yeah. I mean, I agree 100% that these lines should be almost near a pick 'em. Jabor, when she's on her game, she is just an animal. Jabor was actually, whenever I first got back into tennis a couple months ago, I bet on Jabor against golf in the last matchup, won that one, and that was pretty. Like, I went on a little Jabor train for a little bit, and that kind of quickly faded. But yeah, I think Jabor definitely has a shot, so the value is definitely there, especially for her at plus money. The only thing that worries me is that both of these players I mentioned to you earlier have the capability to just sweep their opponent. I think golf definitely plays down to her opponent pretty frequently, and then even though she wins, she plays down a little bit. We saw that against Krunik. We saw that against Sinyakova and Kanepi in the last tournament. And then with Jabor, I think she's kind of in a similar situation where she lost to Bencic in Madrid. She lost to Sharma in the final at Charleston. And I think she's starting to kind of find her groove for sure. I mean, watching that Lynette match when she lost the first set and then she goes bagel to breadstick, like that's super impressive, especially with how Lynette is playing as of late. So I think Jabor is just hungry, and I think she's ready to come out and get a dub. I might be convinced to take her +3 maybe for a unit, but overall, I'm leaning towards a fade. I thought about the over for a little bit, but like I said before, I think either of these women can easily just like 2-0 their opponent, regardless of who it is, especially on clay. So yeah, I'll probably fade, but if I do play it, Jabor +3, that would be me tailing you, just because the more I look at it now and hearing what you had to say, definitely kind of makes me a little more excited about it.
Oh yes, I definitely think you're right about avoiding the over. Usually I do like to play the over with my dogs. But yeah, like you said, I see Uns winning this very possibly, and she could also very well lose into, and don't want to make it worse, I guess, or dig the hole any deeper. But yeah, let's go. Uns would be a good huge win for either player as well. So I definitely think that they'll show up, and like I've said many times before, I definitely feel like both of these chicks feel like this is their game to win for sure.
Yeah,
So
no doubt.
let's see it. Yeah, I lied. This is not a bum ass matchup. This
That's what
this
I
will be a lot of
said.
quality. Yeah, yeah, no, it's not. Neither is the other one. I'm gonna be honest. Neither is the other one. It's just not girls I want to see at this stage of the
Yeah,
tournament.
I get it.
Um, but yeah, no, definitely a lot of quality, and should be two good games. All right, all right, all right. Um, moving on to some like real players. You know what I mean?
Sheesh.
Um, Sonia Cannon versus Maria Sakkari. Um, Yo, I think this has potential to be like the best game in the tournament, honestly. There's gonna be a shit ton of screaming, a shit ton of moaning, a shit ton of, pointing at their coaches and blurred out words, swear words and such. Um, but yo, this is a banger, man. Just like Coco and Jabur. Um, I'm surprised that this line is heavily favoring Zachary. Um, and when we spoke a couple days ago, I did say that Zachary against Elise Mertens would um, kind of come in and disappoint because she's been playing too well. And we know Zachary has some, how do I say this? Has some choking in her for sure. Like she's very capable of absolutely throwing a set. Maybe even let the whole match run away from her, as we've seen pretty much all year, no matter how good she's looked prior. Um, Now it's kind of silly to bank on this happening, um, but no, like for the most part, Zachary has looked pretty good. Um, I didn't watch her against Elise Mertens, but it looks like she came out on top pretty comfortably in the end. So, but on the other hand, Sonia Cannon made it all the way to the final last year, and no one stood a chance against her until Iga Swiatek, who actually kind of destroyed her. And I think we're slowly seeing that Sonia Cannon again. She's definitely back, definitely finding her groove. Um, Ostapenko in the first round was a massive win, and you and I said this way before the tournament even started. When they released the draw, we were like, "Yo, if she can win this game and get past Ostapenko, like she can actually make a run." And like this is it. Here we are. She beat Pagula. Huge win to be honest. She did it. She came behind and won it in three, but that honestly could have very, very easily been a 6-0. Sorry, a 2-0. Sorry, a 2-0 win. Um, but yeah, I like Kennen. I like Kennen value wise, and even if it was a pick 'em, I would rock with Kennen. In all honesty, she can definitely do this. She can definitely do this. I honestly think that the wrong person is favored here. In all honesty.
All right. Well, I have to disagree. So I get exactly where you're coming from. I mean, Kennen last year, like you said, made it all the way to the final and really just kind of rolled for a little while. But I don't think she's quite back to that same point yet. Coming into this tournament, she lost 4 straight matches. To the likes of Davis, Krejcikova, Kontaveit, and Jabeur. Um, and then this one, like we said, after beating Ostapenko, the draw was kind of in her favor going up against Baptiste, and then Pagula has been pretty shaky as of late. But I think Zachary is like really in a good groove right now. I mean, she dominated in the first 2 matches, and then beat Mertens, who the second set could have been a 2-0. She could have won. I mean, she did lose the tiebreak 7-2, but I mean, the fact that she won the first set, took the second one to a tiebreak, like there was potential for that 2-0. I think that Zachary just when she's on her game, and that's what I'm banking on is that she's on her game. Especially with it being such a big tournament, this is her opportunity to really show that she's not just somebody who loses track very easily. I mean, looking at her previous losses, they are against good opponents. Her last loss to Goff in 3 sets, Mukova in 3 sets, Kvitova in 3 sets, Andreescu in 3 sets, and it's like she's really hanging in there when she does lose. She does sometimes tend to let like one set get away from her, but I mean she's hanging in there and she's like it's a tough fight. So that's why I think I lean Zachary -3, and then I have a slight lean on the over just because I think both of these girls tend to play in long, strung out matches. And I think this will be a battle for sure. And I think that I'll probably end up doing, say, 2 units on Zachary -3 and then 1 unit on the over. I know that's kind of odd going with a favorite in the over, but I kind of dig both. So yeah, that's where my stance is. I'm going to have to crack the safe on this one.
Yeah, real quick. If you truly like Zachary, I wouldn't be worried. Coupling that with the over. Yeah, like a flat -3, honestly, and it's definitely doable. Like if she wins 6-4, then loses like six. If she loses 6-4 and then wins 6-3, she's up a game, and it's really -2 in the decider, which is definitely doable. I mean, if you like her to win in the end.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that from
So,
Badosa today, where she
oh yeah,
was
yeah.
down a game going into the fourth or the third
But
set.
yeah, man, Zachary, bro, I don't know, man. That's
Zachary,
just
Zachary,
it's so scary, man. So scary,
rocking with
honestly.
the Greeks
Um,
this week.
but she's a great player. Honestly, both of these girls on their day, top 10 players. And I hope we see it tomorrow because this honestly has the potential to be like a great match. So I hope it lives up to it.
Yeah, I want to see Kennen get back to where she was. I really want to, but I just don't think the time is now. I think it's coming, but I don't think we're there yet.
Bro, ever since she's fired her dad, looks like she's been playing a lot better, more freely, I guess. Like kind of like you are your own boss. Um, for a lot of tennis players, like you are not your own boss if you're a fucking coach is your dad.
Yeah.
Like not like you know what I mean? Like that's like double authority figure or whatever. I don't know what the word is or how to phrase it, but it's like yeah, no. I hate that whole dynamic. We've discussed this before, and like you can tell like she's happier, doing a lot better without him. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, let's get her. Let's see.
Let's move
Let's see.
on. One more WTA matchup.
Yes, sir. So for the first time this tournament, the nightcap is maybe not. I think there was a Serena one time.
Yeah,
Oh,
there was.
but yeah, the late game is Marta Kostyuk versus Iga Swiatek. Now listen, Marta Kostyuk, um, I think is the biggest surprise of the tournament so far. Now, I don't mean surprise like, yo, what the fuck is this girl doing here? Kind of like, Sloane Stevens, Barbora, or even Zidansek. We'll talk about that later, I guess. Um, but surprise as in like it is surprising how well um she's been playing this tournament so far. Honestly, her first couple games have looked exactly like Iga Swiatek last year. In all honesty, hasn't dropped a set. I don't believe she hasn't. Yeah, she hasn't dropped a set. Beat Muguruza first round. Um, and just really, really cruised through. I mean, Say Zhang that she beat. I mean, Zhang played really, really, really well that game, and it was 6-3, 6-4 in the end. I mean, Zhang was actually playing really, really well. And Grasheva 6-1, 6-2, like that. That's not a contest, honestly. But now she faces, the clay court queen these days, Iga Swiatek. She needs no introduction here at Roland-Garros. Um, but I just think like for a girl playing as well as Kostyuk is plus 600 is a lot for the money line. I'm gonna be honest. Plus six is a shit ton of games. I'm gonna be honest. And for her to snag a set, which I know Wojtek hasn't dropped yet, well, although it was super close against Kontaveit, um, but Kostyuk also has not dropped a set. So I like her to win one, in all honesty, and I definitely like her to cover that plus six. You even made this comment that her service games have been ungodly. Um, she's always a turn game, and she's just playing with such confidence and energy, and like she really wants to play, and truly feels like she's that bitch, in the moment.
Yeah.
And I like that because you can see it, and she believes it too. Um, so yeah, man, you never know. You never know.
All right. So you're rocking with. Give me your picks. Throw them out there. I already know what they are, but I want you
Um,
to speak them. Speak them
all right, so
things.
definitely the plus six, and definitely for her to win a set plus 1.5 sets, which is like almost plus 200. Um, and her plus six is obviously minus 110, minus 115 spread. Definitely a shit ton of games there, honestly. Like that's a set right there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
All right.
Um,
So for me, I I honestly this kind of scares me. Like I completely agree that the plus six might be a little extreme, but it's like Swiatek, she is just one of those unpredictably good players. She could come out and just bagel anybody. And it's like that's what just really scares me away from this, because if the line was a little bit lower, like say a 5 or something like that, I may take Swiatek. But Kostiuk, like you said, is playing so damn well that it's like how is the plus six even a thing? I just kind of thought of this idea. This might be really out there, but I was thinking maybe first set, um, plus one and or plus 2.5 games for Kostiuk, and that's sitting at I think plus 115. So plus money for her to lose the first set by less than 3 games. So I kind of like that bet. I mean that's kind of tough because you never know. There could be one set that's a little lopsided. And Swiatek, that could be the first set for her. I really don't know if I believe that Kostiuk can take a set off of Swiatek. I really don't think she can. I think it'll be a battle, but
wow.
I'm being completely honest. I just don't think that's gonna happen. But realistically, I cannot take a side here. This is like a big fade for me. But I definitely would consider that first set play that I mentioned, the plus 2.5 games for Kostiuk. Is that crazy?
No, I like it. Honestly, I like her to win the first set. Um, I feel like in every match that Swiatek has played, um, in a long time now, I think extending to a couple of tournaments, she always looks absolutely great in one set, and then significantly less so in another.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas Kostyuk, I feel like she comes out firing it right out the gate, every single damn game, honestly. Um, so yeah, first set Kostyuk moves are definitely worth looking at for sure. Plus 2.5 is great, especially if she's serving first, which I think she will opt for. Um, if I'm not mistaken, both of these girls usually opt to serve first if they win the toss. So according to heads or tails or whatever, we'll see what's good.
Yeah, 50
Um,
50.
yeah, yeah,
I'd feel very confident if she was serving first. If not, I'd be a little worried. So it really is a coin flip, I feel like.
yeah. But that line would jump. Um, I do notice that as well. Serving first definitely for those plus 2.5, minus 2.5. Oh, that makes a world of difference.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for sure. All
Um,
right. So that wraps up our WTA day 2 of round 4. Some great matchups. I look forward to going over the quarterfinals cuz who knows, this could go completely opposite of what we assume is going to happen, but um yeah, I mean, do you want to go over anything that we saw today, or do you want to jump into ATP, or what are you thinking?
um, yeah, sure. Just to discuss today's games. Now I can't remember. The Cristea game was absolute heartbreak. She served first set, so was up pretty the entire set. She was up the entire set, um, but could never break to get that 2 game lead. At 6-5, Zidansek was serving to stay in the set. Um, and Cristea had a match point and made such a bad error, bro. Like, and you could tell, like right there, that she was hurting. And then when she lost that game and Zidansek held, you could tell you saw it on her face, like she basically tapped out. Um, Set wasn't even over in the tiebreak. She looked, she got killed, honestly. And that was that. That really hurt. For my bet and just seeing that happen because honestly, she was playing at such a high level.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, them other games, surprised Azarenka lost. Honestly,
I had an
uh,
idea. I definitely feel like
um,
Pavlyuchenkova has been like on top of her game now. And Azarenka in that first match against Kuznetsova, she looked a little bit shaky. So I knew that like, I mean, Pavlyuchenkova beating Sabalenka, although Sabalenka was kind of killing herself, I think
dog
it
shit. Yeah.
still speaks a lot about Pavlyuchenkova's like resilience and ability to like to hang in there and stay composed and beat the top player when the opportunity is there. So like she's if the other person is slipping up, she's attacking that and she's taking advantage of it rather than like playing down to that level and letting the game get away from her. So I think I definitely had that as a consideration. I didn't play the match, but I had a potential Pavlyuchenkova money line in a parlay that I took and then got rid of for another parlay, and then sadly
Did
that one
someone
hit.
talk you out of that?
Um, not you didn't talk me out of it, but you had mentioned something about Azarenka, and I had been kind of doubting it because it was like 2+ money favorites or dogs. I mean, in the same parlay, which both ended up hitting, but I I think you mentioned something about Azarenka. You didn't talk me out of it, but I was like I already had the speculation, and then you said something, and then I was like, wait a second, like let me rethink this. But I wouldn't
Yeah,
say.
but I mean, I know nothing at the end of the day, so like you should look to.
But yeah, I mean, props to
Uh,
Pavlyuchenkova for sure. She's got Rebecca in the next round, which is going to be a banger.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. One thing about Pavlyuchenkova, she never quits mentally. Like the only way like she can fade out of a match is if her body lets her down. But I mean, if physically she's feeling okay, then she will be there, like fighting for every point, which is great to see. Definitely props to her. Um, Good win for sure. What were the other two games? Right back in the Serena. I
and
can't think of the other
and
one.
then Badosa Vondrousova.
Oh yeah, I totally missed that game. I totally missed that game. I was taking an exam during that time.
I woke up at
But
the
yeah,
start of
once
the
again,
third set.
Badosa pushed to the limit once again. Um, that's two not very convincing wins in a row. And the problem with that is, in my opinion, like people are left, like watching the third set, which she's the third set against Bogdan, which was pretty impressive. It's a fact that she's getting to these third sets. It's like in the NBA, bro. Seeing like a player like Ball in Game 7, it's like, oh my God, he did it! They won Game 7. Like, yeah, like y'all actually got to Game 7. You know what I mean? It's the
Badosa
same sort of
is Dame Lillard in the fourth because the Blazers are always down, and
no, no,
he's
bro. Listen, I don't know, man. That's two very not convincing wins because although Vondrousova was a finalist 2 years ago,
she's not on that
she ain't
level.
old
Yeah,
that these days. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
even though she got there, and Anna Bogdan, I mean, that sort of you know speaks for itself. Although she played a hell of a game as well.
Yeah.
She gets Zidansek next. I guess let's not ruin the surprise.
Yeah, we won't dig into those yet.
Yeah, yeah, and then right backing up Pavlyuchenkova.
Let's
Yeah,
go, Rebecca. Beast mode. Come on now. Don't play me.
yeah, bro. She's sick. She's so sick.
The
All
second
right, all right.
I saw that she was a dog, I hopped on the line. I had to.
Yeah, bro. No, she's playing well. And she's a good player, man. She's a good player. Um, I hit you with a little stat in the Discord, and then it seems like the WTA Twitter account is in our Discord, bro, because they said the same exact shit after I said it after the match had ended.
Oh,
Which
I
is
am the WTA Discord organizer, so sorry about that.
oh yeah, but yeah, basically right back in a pre-COVID in 2020, so in like the first couple of months, like January, February, March, she made four finals out of the first five tournaments. The oldest was the Australian Open where she lost to Barty, um, I think in the round of 16 or quarterfinal. Um, yeah, and then she won two of those. She won two. Bro, she was on fire, man. She at the end of the year, she had the most final appearances, and she was tied second for most wins
Thank you.
last year. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see, let's see. Definitely looks like she's back on track though.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into the ATP. Only three matchups going down. Federer actually withdrew. He's said he was, I think, battling some type of injury, and I'm assuming he's just trying to get prepared for his bread and butter, the grass season, and like Wimbledon and those type of tournaments. So, um, farewell to a king. But we got three matchups coming into the day. So I mean, if you want to jump right in, you can get us going with the first matchup.
All right, bet. Two surprises here. Small man versus Jan Leonard Struff. Um, Now I say surprise. Small man is obviously a top player in the ATP, a clay specialist. But this year, bro, he's been buns, bro. He's been he's been cheeks
Up
for the
until
most
now,
part, but
yeah, that's weird.
up until yeah, and now he looks a lot more confident in his game and shit. Like he expects to win. He holds like high expectations for himself as far as his performance is concerned. Hasn't dropped a set. Um, Bedene 6'4", 6'2", 6'4", and Cole Schreiber 6'4", 6'2", 6'1", who's another German that was actually playing really well this week. He gets another German, Jan Leonard Struff. It was also a bit of a surprise. Beat Carlos Alcaraz, Carlitos in straights, which is that 18-year-old kid or something who's won 10 in a row and is the new Nadal, teen sensation.
Yeah,
Also beat Rublev first round. Don't forget in 5, and beat Facundo Bagnis in straights. Um, I don't think Smallman's going to beat two Germans in a row. I'm going to come out and say it. Struff is catching 4 games, plus 170 money line. I definitely think that's worth a look at. Like a good friend, aggressive European sports bet said in the Discord. I think what do you call it? Small man has a baby dick serve that Struff is gonna punish all day, which is absolutely correct. Struff has a ton of power, and forehand backhand, he'll definitely fuck with small man shit for sure. And then the longer rallies, which usually tend to favor small man, Struff can definitely keep up with him and actually try and shorten the points himself. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as far as like me looking at the match, obviously I'm not super familiar with ATP as far as like I am with WTA, but I think something that I do kind of like here would be the over. I mean, like you said, they're both playing pretty well. Small man, he's on like a pretty incredible run so far. 9-0 in sets so far to start. But I think this will be the biggest challenge for him as far as like how Struff is playing. So I think Struff will definitely be able to hang, if not win. Um, and I don't think Small Man's just gonna lay down and die like he has previous to this tournament. I think it'll be kind of a fight. I think over 36 is pretty solid. I think we'll see four tightly contested sets, maybe like a 6-3 or 6 in like one of the sets or two of the sets. But I like over 36 here for sure. I don't think I'll play it, but I like it.
Yeah, that also sounds good. Smallman hasn't dropped a set yet. And to think that he would lose without winning a set, or maybe even two, or maybe even win the game. I definitely think both players can win. Should win a set. Um,
For sure.
and yeah, that 36 is kind of
Kind of high.
kind of a small number. I'd say a small number for an even matchup, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, yeah.
Alrighty. What we got up next?
Let's see what we got up next. Um, oh yeah, yeah. Novak Djokovic versus Lorenzo Musetti. Um, Now I want to do something stupid, yo. I want to fuck with Musetti and the games, man. It was plus 9.5. It's plus nine
Musetti
now.
money line?
Uh, I think that's a lot of games. Musetti, the type of player that if he's in rhythm and like he's doing well, like you should expect the same, more of the same.
Yeah.
And regardless of opponent, because he's reliant on shot making, not like stellar defense or anything like that. Like whereas like if you're playing someone of Djokovic's quality, like your defense would crack or something like that. Like no, he's just shot making, um, very crafty, huge variety, very fast, um, and these things like um can't really be impacted against a good player, uh, which kind of goes in his favor. But I mean, Djokovic is a whole different beast. But I think Musetti can keep this close. Maybe even like, even if he gets broken, like he can definitely break back. He can, he will trouble Djokovic, I think, in my opinion, for some stretches in this match. I mean, plus nine is a lot of games, so like one close set and then like two close-ish sets might do it. Honestly, like 6-3, 6-3 gets you the push, but I mean anything better than that, which sounds feasible, will get you the cover. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would just be a little worried about Djokovic and his ability to just like 6-1, 6-2 anybody. I don't know if I could even play this match. Just because I mean, like you said, Musetti is definitely a capable player. Djokovic obviously is one of the best in the game right now, so it's gonna be a test for Musetti without a doubt. Musetti coming off a 5-setter with Kitchenato. Um, yeah, just nothing really jumps out to me. I mean, 9 games is a lot, and like you said, plus or 6-3, 6-3, 6-3 is, I mean, that's a push. It's attainable. I would just be nervous if Musetti would even be able to hang that much. I mean, if he grabs a set, that's absolutely incredible, and that'll
or in
more than
business.
likely finish it. But I think I would just completely fade this one. To be honest, did you say you were dabbling on the money line as well?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
I
okay,
that
okay, okay. I was gonna say
when
plus
I said
1400.
when I said I'm doing something crazy, I strictly meant playing Musetti here.
Okay,
That's
okay,
that's I feel like that's as crazy as you can go with this
yeah,
match, in all honesty.
for sure.
Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, let's move on. Yo, this should be good. I mean, again, for once on the men's side, all matches seem like possesses quality on both sides of the net. I mean, even though Djokovic is a minus 4K fave on the money line, like Musetti definitely possesses a lot of quality. So like none of these games will be shitty in my opinion.
Yeah,
And even like if it ends up being one sided on the scoreboard, I think it'll be a good game nonetheless. All
yeah,
right, all right, all right.
I agree.
Last game, Nadal versus Sinner. Yo, what a match! Similar vibe to Djokovic Musetti. So you have Goat versus young Italian. Now these dudes played in Rome, right? 7-5, 6-4 Nadal. Um, Yo, Sinner really pushed him, man. Nadal really, really had to try and give his best to come out on top in both of those sets. And they were close. They were definitely very close. Obviously Sinner got it to 5-5 in order for Nadal to win 7-5. But that 6-4 in the second set was off like 4-4. So I mean, both of those sets were pretty close until the end, and then
Hmm.
Nadal finally got a break and a hold in the end to finish off both those sets. But yeah, like I said, Nadal really, it didn't come easy at all. Now I know that was, in his build up to his Roland-Garros form, and now that he's here, it's a whole different game. I get that. But it's 8.5 games, man. It's 8.5 games. I know we spoke a little bit before we pressed record. And you said Sinner's kind of shaky, which I do agree. Um, but he's a hell of a player, man, and he plays hard too. Like he'll never give up. Give up. And having said that, Nadal really once again will have to play, throughout the match, not slip up, and he'll really be pushed to his limits. And Sinner will obviously be uh, asked to do his best and be pushed to his limits as well. But it's plus 8.5 games. Um, that's a lot, no?
It does seem like a lot. I mean, when we were talking prior to like starting the podcast, I didn't realize it was even that big. And like looking at Nadal's run in this tournament, um, that number would have cashed for Papirin, I believe. 4-7. Yeah, would have cashed for Papirin, almost for Nori. And I think Sinner is a better player than both of those guys. So,
X.
I definitely think it's feasible. It's a tricky play. I think it'll probably finish right around that line. I don't see. I mean, maybe Sinner can hang around it and keep it a lot closer than that, but I don't know. I think that line is honestly pretty spot on to what this match should be, especially with how Nadal is playing. But it's tricky. I think if I was gonna play it, I'd probably do the Sinner plus 8.5, but still a fade for me. But I do like that. I think I didn't realize it was that high of a number.
Mm, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just it's so scary fading these goats, bro. Because like you said, 6-1, 6-2, and then you're like, all right, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like your dude could be down 9 games going into the third set, where you're asking for him to win a set just for this to have a chance.
Yeah.
Um,
Not worth it.
yeah, it could be tough. I'll have to think about it though, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
All
So
right, that's the men's. And just to say about Federer retiring, I don't like that at all, man. Or withdrawing, rather. I don't like that, man. I mean, first of all, it's not fair for Dominic Kufur, who he beat, who tried his hardest, bro, against Federer and really made him work.
yeah.
And I mean, that's probably why he's withdrawing after all, because um, He played Chilich too, and that shit wasn't easy. In all honesty, even though they were both 3-1 wins, I mean, he was really made to work, Federer. So, but I just don't get that. Like, why go so hard in the first place? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and like, you can't just say, "Oh, me and my team never expected to win 3 games when we came here." Like, yeah, what the fuck are you like? Why would you ever think that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I don't know.
especially
I
from
really,
somebody of that caliber. Yeah,
yeah, like I really don't like that. I really don't like that.
for sure. Yeah,
Like, if you're
ATP.
worried, then you might burn out. Just, withdraw once you're burnt out, not, in anticipation of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, like, go as hard as you can here. If you win, you win. You make a run, you make a run. And if that affects your performance later on, then so be it. Like, you know what I mean? But not. I don't know, man. I don't like it.
No, I get exactly what you're saying, and where you're coming from. It's a
Yeah.
little odd, but yeah, I guess that wraps up the ATP as well. ATP,
Tsitsipas and Medvedev, huh?
yeah,
Quarterfinal
buddy,
Tuesday. Mm-mm-mm.
that'll be a good one.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna let my Tsitsipas future do the work that match. Um, but I mean, if you ask me as far as picks go, I'm gonna just say right now, I definitely like him to win by 2 sets or more. Um, I mean, you already know this. I don't see uh him dropping 2 sets to Medvedev. He's dropped 1 set thus far to Isner, and I mean that dude is just it is so tough to like face a dude like him. And
Yeah,
today against a normal player like PCB, it was close in the end. He almost lost that third set, but I mean, and PCB didn't really play all that poorly. In all honesty, so I don't know, man. Tsitsipas, big game player. I feel like he'll stick it to him. I'm excited for that one though, for sure.
yeah.
If he wins this through to the final, I think.
I agree, but
Um,
we'll dive deeper into that in the next episode, which we can get going tomorrow.
who would he face if he beat Medvedev? Who would that?
I can tell you in like 30 seconds.
Zverev or ADF?
Is this Vera?
Zverev or ADF? Oh, so oh yeah, he's going to the final, bro. If he wins against Medvedev,
I agree. I think it'll
he
be
will. He will.
yeah.
It'll be Zverev, right?
Yeah. Or ADF. I
Oh
mean, you
yeah.
never knows. ADF putting together a nice little tourney for
Oh
himself.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me that. Give
Hey,
me that.
all right.
And then he'll face either Nadal or Djokovic or Sinner or Musetti, right?
Yes. Yeah. And then on the
Or
women's
or
side,
small man or Struff
oh, I'm looking at
or
the wrong.
Bertini. Yeah, yeah.
And then looking at wait, where am I at? What the hell? Um, one sec.
Luka Doncic is a very good basketball player.
This is facts. I was just gonna throw out the possible later matchups for the WTA for the French Open. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Winner of Goff and Jabeur plays winner of Krejcikova and Stevens. So I think Krejcikova
Yep.
versus maybe. I mean, that's Jabeur and Goff is definitely a toss up, but I mean I agree with you. Jabeur definitely is like rocking with it right now. Then on the other side, it's obviously Kenan Sekeri, winner of that, versus Kostiuk and Swiatek. So Swiatek is 2 wins away from another final, back-to-back French Open finals. It's not going to be easy though, for sure.
And then we already have Pavlyuchenkova, Rybakina, and Badosa,
Oh,
Zidansek.
I didn't go all the way down. Shit. Yeah, exactly. So she's 3 wins away. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're good. Yeah, since those already happened. I mean, I guess everyone already knows that. Out of the four, Rybakina, Pavlyuchenkova, Badosa, Zidansek. Like just looking at those names, like not knowing who is playing who, like if you had to pick one person to go through, I would very naturally say Rybakina, in all honesty. Maybe I'm biased because like, I don't know though. I mean out of those four, if I'm picking a name to go through, it'd probably be Rybakina. Maybe Badosa, but I'm not sold. I think Rybakina definitely do be playing better, and I think honestly, the winner Pavlyuchenkova, Rybakina will be making the uh final. Yeah, the final. Um, I mean, I think they can both beat Badosa in all honesty, and that's assuming she beats Zidansek, which I mean she most probably will, but you never know. Nothing's for sure.
Honestly, I like this side of the bracket because I'd be happy to see Badosa in the final. I'd be happy to see Pavlyuchenkova in the final. I'd be happy to see Rebekina in the final. So I think that's super cool. I think the outcome will be something that I like. Even Zidansek.
Yeah, I would love for Kostyuk to win tomorrow. It would make that other half so super wide open with Schweitek out of the mix,
Yeah,
because then you're looking at either Kenin or Zachary, Goff or Jabur. Like it gets super interesting in my opinion. Um,
agreed.
yeah. Like if the four names come down to Kostyuk, Krejcikova, let's say Goff, let's say Kenin, like wow, honestly.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. But we'll dive deeper into the next round of matchups tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Saiffers BPat podcast. As always, make sure you hop in the Discord. We'll be posting our picks. The Bearded Betters Discord, might I add. It's run by Corey Crone, awesome dude. We have tons of different sections for each sport. The tennis one is popping. We're always in there throwing out ideas, pre-match, post-match, live match picks, that type of stuff. So make sure you join that. Follow us on Twitter. Links are down in the description, as well as our handles posted on the screen. So go ahead and check us out there. We post all of our picks there, at least pre-match picks. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Love you. Peace out.
Love you too, BPAD. Love you guys as well. Watch out for Marta Kostyuk. And fuck you, Coco Golf. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Peace and
Huge day
love.
tomorrow.
Huge.